Just arrived bright and early. We're gonna save someone else from some hand sanding and put in a Cosmo. What a beautiful, beautiful factory. You know, you can tell a lot about the outside. I mean, this lawn is manicured, murals on the walls. This is gonna be a treat. Here we go. Found it, and they have the ultimate package. They've got the ultimate edge sander and Cosmo. And look at this. I just arrived day one. They've already got all their sandpaper organized. They've already got my test piece ready for me. The tool kits are out. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, what a treat working with these guys has been so far. I'm almost done setting up, and I just need to find a tool. And so I don't want to bug anyone, so I go and start looking around for tools. And this is how I know that these guys are going to be successful. Check this out. I walk over to the toolbox. I'm like, oh God, I have to search through all of these drawers. No, I don't. All perfectly labeled. Every single drawer. Even on this toolkit, what's in it? Right here. Love it. There is a common thread to companies that are highly successful and companies that are not. These guys are good.
All right, here we are. We're only 2 hours in. I don't know, you'll see the screenshot. I think it's about 2 hours from the time I walked in the building until the time the robot is ready to send home and start setting up. So the whole machine has been assembled in 2 hours. And for me, I mean, that sounds pretty good. I think most people will be super happy with that. But me and my team are so crazy about continuous improvement that even that 2 hours, we want to make it better. I've made 14 suggestions on this install alone that will make the next install even better. So we're never satisfied, but here we go. We're ready to almost start sanding.
We got our first door on there. We're ready to start sanding and training people. And everybody says, oh, we'll have so many doors ready, and they lined up all of these doors for us for our training. But what most people don't realize is we're gonna cook through all of that in no time. Cosmo needs to be fed.
What are you guys walking away from?
Hold on my phone in your hand. Never ceases to amaze me. We always have something really cool to try and learn or figure out, and today is no different. And this is going to be one of the more exciting ones. I'm really looking forward to this challenge. So what we're going to try and do is, we've got our doors here staged, and what we're going to try and do is create a connected process of the edge sander into the robot cell with a small buffer here, into the robot cell, through the robot cell, across the inspection table, and then back onto an empty rack. And I keep preaching it, but remember everybody, connecting processes is the secret to speed in manufacturing. So we're gonna have to calculate some times here, some times here, some times here, and then really figure out which process is gonna happen at which station. We've got the ultimate edge sander here. We've got Cosmo, and then we've got our inspection station. So we have everything we need. Now it's just a matter of developing a single piece flow process. Now the key here is that magical word, flow. If you're not flowing, you're not going. It's that simple. So we always are looking to create flow. That, you know, what we want to pay attention to is not necessarily what's happening on the machines, but how frequently does a part hit this rack. And we'll be using the Kaizenify production timer today to get times as we experiment and try and figure out which process is best. Now, of course, we've got challenges as their second day with the robot, so you're gonna have some operator issues and stuff, but creating that system is just so key. We want a little river of parts coming from there to there to there to there, non-stop. The last thing you want to do is get yourself into a piece of equipment where you're batching, you're putting 4 or 5 pieces on there and pushing start and then walking away. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Flow, everybody, flow. And we're gonna try and set that up today. There we go. We've got one door coming through the edge sander. Room for staging of one door while the machine is sanding one door. And we're ready for an inspection, and we're running the quantum lean timer. It's all coming together. Single piece flow. I can't stress it enough, everybody. This is how you create flow, one door at a time. Oh, I'm gonna age myself with this reference, but I love it when a plan comes together. We've got COSMO sanding there, we've got doors happening here, and we're still learning and figuring this out, and we're knocking out doors in less than 3 minutes, ready to finish, both sides and all edges. So, what's gonna happen when we get good at this? So next, now that we have the process sort of working and flowing, now we're gonna start to think about optimizing that in terms of like, maybe we can move some machines or some benches or something and really get that flow to the next level. But this is awesome. I could stand here and watch this all day like a little symphony going on. And the best part, he's not working very hard. That is my favorite part. And now I'm standing here thinking, I'm like, you know what the crazy part about all this is? We just delivered a brand new robotic sander yesterday, set up and running on the first day. Now the operator doesn't even need me. He's autonomously working on his own. And then we taught them how to set up a single piece flow work cell, which is, I mean, it's absolutely counterintuitive. And I'm still standing here doing nothing. And it's hour 2 on day 2. And the whole thing is just running without me. Here's a good view of what's happening. You can see the edge sanding, the robot sanding, and then our inspection table with our finished doors going here. My favorite part is it all looks so slow, but when you look at the timer, we're going so fast. So now he comes over here. Now you can see, if you got a keen eye, there's still a ton of walking going on here, but we're training on the robot, we're learning single piece flow. I didn't want to mess with that, but don't you worry, this cell will not look like this in another day or so. All right, so we just finished sanding a big rack of doors, and we got the process figured out. Now we're in optimizing phase. So you can see we just did a little, this is as easy as it is. Everybody makes things too complicated. We make a little spaghetti diagram on a piece of scrap cardboard and we say, improve it. It's that easy. So now we're just counting how many steps between each thing and we're just trying to make it less. So easy and fun. So here we go. Let's see how many steps we can eliminate. Okay, here we go. We're reconfigured. Check out our new layout. So we've reconfigured the cell into a U-shaped cell, and so it will flow through here, drop off a door here, pick up a door here, go to the edge sander, through here, one door buffer, one door on the robot, one door at hand sanding and inspection. And we will be running the Higgins timer to make sure we're staying on track. And here we go. Let's press start. Magic is happening. One in the buffer, robot working, another part coming through the sander. Soon it's all gonna shift one position.
So, when I first started running this machine, I thought it was going to be really complicated to get a hold of. And after running it for a day and a half, I can walk right up to that thing and I can go anywhere I need to on it and do anything I want with any of the settings. It's super easy.
There we go. Look at the size of these doors. Monster size doors. And that one's now on the rack. And look at our time. Bam! I can't wait for someone to try and convince me that connecting process is not the secret to success. Ladies and gentlemen, a U-shaped cell with a focus on flow cannot be beat. I hope this helps. And here we go, the magic never ends. He's sanding a big door. We got one door and a buffer, so what do? We grab a drawer front off of the rack and we process the drawer front. We never want to get ahead of the machine on processing doors. So we grab something that's too small and we just process it by hand, get it out of the way. It's exactly how this should be running. And does he look stressed? Does he look rushed? Absolutely not. Easy day. Okay, we're gonna make you famous. Check this out. 2 minutes and 46 seconds on average. That is from rack all the way through the process, all the sanding, all the handling, all the hand sanding, and back on the rack. 246 a door, buddy. High five. That is crazy good. So what do you think? End of day 2. Where are you at? Where's your head at? What do you think of the new cell?
Everything is good. Can't get any better, I don't think. I can try to beat my time, but that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Everything is
How do you like
one
running?
big circle.
Right. How do you like running the robot?
The robot is awesome. It's a lot easier than I thought it'd be. Awesome.
Man.
Thought it'd be a lot more complicated than it is, but no.
And you took to this single piece flow like a duck to water. You haven't once tried to get ahead of yourself or anything. This has been fantastic working with you.
Nope. It's been good. It's been good. I'm enjoying it. I've been waiting for this and now it's here and I'm having fun.
Great. Take that to the bank, everybody.
Here we go, day 3. We're just getting fired up, and I'm gonna stay out of the way almost completely today and just see how we make out. But you can see our cell has been optimized, and at the end of yesterday, we set some pretty unbelievable times. So I'm gonna run a video just kind of showing the cell operating for a few hours, and then we'll speed that up for this video. Hope you enjoy.
sipping coffee, sanding 2 doors at the same time. Zero stress, everybody. Okay, another rack of doors this morning through our U-shaped cell. And look at this, we're having coffee, we're sanding doors all at the same time. And here's our time today. 2 minutes and 54 seconds per door. And that time includes the entire door. We're talking all 4 edges, front side, back side, fully sanded, 254. And you can see the stress that this poor guy is under right now. Look at him. Of course, it was absolute zero stress moment. And we videoed the whole thing so you could watch. This is only day 2, and I didn't have to get involved in there. I didn't have to go in there and help him get the machine going. He had a little struggle here and there, but we just let him fight through it. He figured out what was going on, and he was up and running again. I can't even imagine what their time's gonna be in 2 weeks from now when all the little nuances are just, you know, without even thinking about it. So super proud of this team. They're doing awesome. You know, one of my favorite parts about having an automated cell assisting with the sanding is that 2 minutes and whatever it was, 50 seconds or 40 seconds, that's at 7 in the morning, that's at noon, and that's at 4 in the afternoon. Because the robot doesn't care what time it is, he doesn't get tired, he doesn't change the speed. So we can start to then help pace the whole operation when we know that people, as hard as they try, we're fallible creatures. And so, you know, after lunch we get tired, we slow down. End of the day we slow down. When it's hot we slow down. When it's cold we slow down. When we're having a bad day we slow down. And when we put an amazing human like that guy into an automated cell, the pace just stays the same all day. Another cart of doors. Out the door. Here we go with solid wood doors now. COSMO sanding, X-sander sanding, operator, having a great day. So if you analyze what's happening here, one person is simultaneously sanding the 1,000 rails and the edges all at the same time. Oh, what do you think of that?
That's awesome.
No sand throughs at all. Beautiful. And I can't stress it enough. I mean, if you're watching this video, create flow. It's not about the machine doing all the work. Because you can see, he's doing some hand sanding here. You're doing machine, machine, hand. You want an 80-20 ratio. You want the machine doing 80% of the sanding, the human doing 20% of the sanding. There's no point in having him standing around watching a machine work. That's what we call trapped labor. So we want to, in that scenario, offload labor from the machine onto the person so that the machine's busy, the person's busy, with the number one goal being throughput. And we want to do it in a single piece flow fashion. If you're sanding more than one door at a time, there's a video we have called the world's best single piece flow demo. Look for it on YouTube. And it will show you how detrimental a batch of even 5 is. If you're putting more than one piece of work on a table at a time, I know it sounds crazy, but it's impossible to create flow. So it's all about flow and it's all about throughput. Not keeping machines busy, not having people stand around, but flow and throughput. There you have it. Hope that helps everybody. See you soon.
My name's Nate Ward from Higgins. I'm the president of the company. Been working here since '94, so 31 years, 32 years. Took over January 2020, and kind of been trying to oversee operations here and upgrade equipment along the way to help improve our processes through our builds here. So we had some challenges with labor force like everybody else, so we were looking to try to more and more automate things along the way. And obviously sanding and finishing is a big bottleneck in many shops, so we were trying to find a solution to those bottlenecks. Did a little research online. We came across a machine, which is the COSMOS, as you guys all well know the machine, and toured another cabinet shop that had one. Took up a bunch of doors to that shop, ran a bunch of tests on it, and I think ordered a week later. So
cool. So what led you to the decision, like, well, we need a robot in the first place? It's a pretty major purchase.
Yeah, I mean, it was, when you have a veteran sander, they do a great job, and as everyone well knows, employees are hard to find, and trying to keep that quality up, that consistency all the way through. That robot's going to do the same thing over and over and over, and just having that level of quality is kind of what led us towards looking into the robot side of things.
Did you look at many other robots in your journey?
So we looked at one other one, not in person, but just online, and I don't know, it just seemed, this one was kind of calling our name, I guess, a little bit, just with the versatility and seeing another shop that had one. And they talked very highly of Stolbeck, and their customer service on things, and customer service to me is huge. Breakdowns are expensive, and being able to get back up and running is huge.
So, have you found any advantage in, buying a machine from a bunch of guys that were woodworkers first?
Yes.
Has that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's, woodworking, if you're in the industry, you understand the problems that you have to overcome. It's not like metal is flatter than wood, so when you have to overcome certain things, having someone with a background in woodworking is huge, because they know the same troubles that we're facing without a robot.
Right, yeah. Well, I know I've spent about 30,000 hours on the end of a palm sander, so I'm very intimate with the pain.
Yep, and that's how I started off, when I was 14, 15, was just sanding doors,
And we can, now you've eradicated that for the future generations that are working here. They can be robot operators now instead of just sanders.
Yeah.
Cool. How did you justify the expense? I mean, it's not cheap, right? So
it's not cheap, but a robot's going to come to work every day. You know what I mean? And you can train operators, and it's never going to have a bad day. It's going to come in and do what you tell it to do. Eventually down the road, it'll pay for itself as if you can, as Brad's shown us, to connect processes. And I think we were down to 2 minutes 45 seconds a door with one operator. Well,
I think that's a record. A record.
Yeah. So I think, which normally a guy would take, 2 guys would take, to get that quality, done in that time frame. It's the thing we liked when you came down here was it wasn't just set a machine up. It was helping us through a process and trying to speed it up without making the operator run around in circles on that side of things.
Yeah, we tell everybody, it doesn't matter what piece of equipment you buy. If you don't change the process around, you got a new piece of equipment, that should be the first hint. You need a new process too. And so, yeah, we're happy to help you through that. And it was fun working with your guy out there, and we did a little spaghetti diagram and got it dialed in. Yeah, we'll get to him. He was awesome. But if we kind of baby step our way through, so machine shows up and you took it out of the box. What was your first impression?
We were kind of, I mean, it was very exciting to see it, as we were been waiting for it and talking about it and watching videos, and it was impressive. It was very impressive the way it showed up. We just uncrated it. We didn't do any of the setup. It just kind of seeing it sit there. We were excited to finally get it up and running and see what it could do for us.
Did it like have the appearance of a industrial machine, or did
Oh,
you
absolutely.
feel like, oh no, I just bought a toy?
No, it was definitely robustly built. And you guys have thought of almost everything. I mean, there's pictures, like anything you need, it's right there. You know, there's pictures of how to do a setup or how to change something out. If there's a problem, there's usually a QR code or a picture there to kind of help you through it, so that the operator isn't struggling trying to find the resources to fix the problem he has.
Cool. What about, okay, so we had that thing set up in record time. I think it was pretty much by the end of the first day, we were sanding the first couple of doors.
Yep.
My memory serves
Yep.
me correct. So then day 2 was Kent's first day on the machine. From the owner's perspective, how did that look from you? Like, how'd that look for you? Like, was he up and running fast enough? Did he look like he was struggling? Was he unhappy that he had to run this robot now?
No. I've never seen Ken happier. I mean, you walk out there and he's got a smile ear to ear, and you know I think the learning curve was very small. Like, he caught on right away. He was able to learn the adjustments pretty quickly, and
I was blown away.
yeah, I was concerned about some of that. You know, like, there's a learning curve.
Lots of buttons. You know?
Lots of buttons, lots of things, but it wasn't as scary as we all looked at the controller and were like, how are we ever going to learn this in 3 days? And they did. Kent, I just talked to him today, and he was super comfortable. He's like, I pretty much know how to dial this thing in.
Yeah.
And whatever problems come up, I got the knowledge right now to overcome those problems.
Man, that's exciting. And I gotta tell you, I've been bored for 2 days now, just sitting there watching him. And you know, he runs into the odd thing, but he's been amazing. And you know, for anybody even watching this video, please do what he did and just like hear me out, or just listen and work with the process, because we're not only teaching how to run a robot, we also introduced him to single piece flow in a sanding environment, and he just took to it like a duck to water. I couldn't even believe him. Like, you know, first, he's like us, he's a little old, you know, so we get stubborn, and you know, and I'm like, listen, number one mistake, everyone tries to get ahead of themselves on the robot. Don't process. It's gonna feel so slow, but I promise it's gonna be fast. Not once did he try and get ahead of himself.
Yeah.
Not once did he try and process an extra part through the sander. And you know, it felt pretty slow. And if you're watching this, you've probably seen the video, you know, where he's, you know, we have one clip of him standing there drinking a coffee, the robot sanding one door and the edge sander sanding another door. And I'm like, that's what work should be like.
Yeah.
For an operator. Yeah, he was an extraordinary human, man. He just caught on to everything, and it's been a joy to work with him. Did you hear about what your painter said?
Yes. So he was very reluctant the first little group of doors we gave him, and I kind of jumped in and says, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sand 10 doors, 2 doors of each different grits and speeds, and you tell me the difference. You know, like, let's not just do this hypothetical. And we sprayed all 10 doors, and he couldn't tell the difference. And after we sprayed second coat of primer on a set of doors, he was smiling ear to ear, saying this is the best set of doors I've ever sprayed. So we're excited to get into the paint prepping part as far as after primer coat, in between first and second coat of paint, because the doors are they're flatter. You know, you don't have a guy that's going to kind of grind into a corner and they stay super flat because of the way that robot processes those doors.
Yeah, Ken pulls me aside. He's like, Mike just came over and he shook my hand and said, those are the best doors I've ever seen. He goes, he's never done that.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been here for 4 years. He has never told me I've done a good job.
And Mike is a perfectionist.
He is.
And you know, that's why he holds everyone else to a higher standard, because if they don't get it right, he's gonna fix it and get it right. So knowing that he didn't have to fix any of those doors and he was glowing, like that's huge. Huge selling point for us.
Just, you know, just the smiles. The guy sanding smiling now. The guy painting smiling now. You know, we taught them about like talking about your internal suppliers and how get that feedback back to them. It's not complaining. It's just we could fix the process here, and they were doing that all day. I mean, it feels great out there. Now they're actually out there right now, setting up all the veneers, sanding and everything, and they're doing it on their own. And we're in here chit-chatting.
Yeah, before I came up here, I was just talking to Tyler, and he showed me a door. It was a walnut slab veneer door, and I mean, no swirls. I mean, this thing looked gorgeous. It was the crisp and clean, and these are, I mean, they're 4 doors into it, setting it up. I mean, it's not like we've been at this all day. They just threw some slabs up and just did a couple different, you know, routings of it and pressures and speeds, and by the 4th door, I mean, it looked perfect.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you guys. You know, if you're doing what you're doing now on day 3, imagine in 4 months from now. I mean, I think you guys set a record. That 246 a door. We're talking both sides sanded, all edges sanded, ready for paint.
Sitting on a rack, ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think none of our customers have done that yet, because we've never connected the edge sander and the robot the way we did it in your factory, and that is all because of you. I told you not to do it, and you didn't listen. And
well, I didn't listen to you, but I had the edge sander going a different direction. And it's funny, I walk out of my office and I'm looking to see what's going on, and the edge sander's already moved. And I'm like, geez, I got the forklift up here, and the 4 guys just turned the edge sander, we reset it up, and it's a nice little sanding cell.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, I know you got things to do, so thank you very much for putting your faith into us and buying our machines.